Hey, what's up, guys? Or hello, internet. This is Obi-Shane. How is everybody doing? I finished up a build recently, kind of a special build. I wanted to do a short video on it before I sent it out today. I won't have any chance to take any glams, but luckily the guy who's getting it's pretty good with the camera, so not gonna have to worry about that. I went ahead and I took the prototype out as well for those that guys are unaware. We haven't broadcast it publicly, but this is a Nerfworks Lab / Harp collaboration, whereas Harp of Harp Lightsabers, if you haven't heard of him, where have you been and what are you doing? Check him out. His stuff's unbelievable. This is the prototype that he has done that I have installed. So what we did was we did a really small run of 20 sabers just for fun, just to check it out, to see what we could do. I have the overhead lights right now turned off so it doesn't blow out the camera with glare on these. I'll go ahead and turn that light on in a little bit to kind of bring out more of the detail of these sabers, or kind of help get a more of a well-rounded view of what they look like. So what Harp did was he machined these parts in Harp fashion, so we got a lot of cool brass stuff going on, really deep layers in his chambers here, and an aluminum shell. And then we got the parts, and before I did the build, this one, which is my personal TFU2. Now these are all solo sold TFU2s, by the way. And so we did these, and then so Aaron modeled the parts and CNC'd everything, and we decided to go with some different materials other than the aluminum, mainly because aluminum doesn't take well to weathering. You see, the options are pretty limited as far as machine finish, polish, things like that, paint in the cracks, whatever. Brass seems to be much more friendly for messing around. So, brass chassis core shell, I should say, and brass inner workings on the crystal chamber, as well as on the inside, you'll see, if I can get it to focus, titanium parts. So you'll see, I could probably turn the light on to better show what we're looking at here. Okay, there we are. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So on the inside here, you'll see rainbow hues and whatnot on the parts. It's coming off pretty blurry in the camera. I don't know how well it's going to want to focus on that. Those parts are titanium. Those are all flame weathered titanium. So this is kind of an exclusive run, and we won't be doing this one again. So for 20 lucky people who have these, we won't be doing any of these parts again. So I just finished this up. I need to get it shipped out today. So quick specs. Crystal Focus 9, 16650 Solos Hold battery. So we got some decent run times on those. RGB main LED, RGB matching crystal chamber. Settings are set to blade mimic, pulse on idle, and in the shell we have a myriad of some different colors that I've been kind of playing with, instead of using the traditional greens and whatnot. I did use a regular blue up here. I got some purples, some lime greens, some ultraviolets, some pinks. Pink's interesting. I think it's kind of cool. So something other than your regular RGB colors that pop up. Just, your eye picks up on different stuff, and that's always kind of fun. What to talk about? let's see. So crystal used is a genuine quartz crystal, clear, no colors in my crystals, so that they can assume all colors depending on what settings you have. So CNC'd brass buttons. Let's see, what else? Getting distracted here, looking at stuff, seeing if I wanted to do anything extra on it before I ship it out today. I just finished it up a couple of hours ago, so I've got to make that decision quick. As far as how this thing feels when it's built, no plastic parts visible. Everything's brass here, brass and titanium, mostly titanium on the inner core. So everything that's directly around the crystal is titanium, and it's flame weathered to give it that appearance as if it's undergoing some sort of temperature change. Just break up the brass. So on the outside, I've got a mixture of weathered and polished sections. I think that looks pretty all right. I like it on the inside, more so polished. Just kind of going with the, when it goes into something, it's cleaner, because there's no, or well, I mean, if you want to get into the lore of it and try and figure out kind of, how these things are supposed to look. I don't want the chassis to be too dirty, I want it to be clean. It's on the inside of the Saber, so, it's not supposed to get dirty. The outside, though, of course, experiences a little bit of use, so, you're going to see that. There's a small circular parts, like on my thumb, that's also titanium. Same thing over here is also titanium. Hex mesh in here. What else? That's pretty much it. I can't take much credit for these. Maybe, I don't know, just in like my methods or whatever, like as far as an install goes and whatnot. These it's all designed by Harp. It's Harp's well designed by Harp and then CNC'd by Aaron, and he did. This is our first time doing a exclusive, CNC'd chassis setup, and so we kind of didn't know what to expect, see what kind of problems we were going to run into, and honestly, I think I maybe had to do one small mod, and that's it. Everything else fit like a glove. It's rock solid. You can literally grab it here and swing the Saber around and not have to really worry about anything. Yeah, I think it could absolutely withstand light dueling, just holding on to the chassis. I would not do that with a collector Saber. However, the strength is there in how it is designed. And the small mod that I made, it was just to the speaker holder in the back, just so that I could cater it to how I do my wiring and assembly. Harp probably has a different system, so obviously has a different system. Everybody's got their own system. So yeah, let's see. So that's I'll probably put a little bit more work into this one and kind of work it a little bit different. Didn't want to go too crazy. But I've also painted this since its first version, and I might just take some of the paint off. I kind of do that sometimes. I'll take some of the paint away and put some back on just to kind of go with whatever I'm feeling. This was the grip for my personal. Wanted to do something completely different and just kind of not screen accurate by any means. Just taking a little creative freedom here and doing what I want to do. The guy who wanted this one wanted me to kind of just piggyback off of that and put a little bit of what I do into his wrap. So I went ahead and did that. Used a piece from the same hide, weathered up the edges, and I cut them so that it did look like it was ripped or salvaged or purposed in the field, not something that has perfectly, clean lines cut into the leather, nothing like that. I'm really happy with that. I like the way that turned out. Let's see what else. That's pretty much the star of the show right now. Hands down, this is the nicest saber I've done as far as how everything kind of comes together as a complete unit, as a chassis, not taking into account like, I like the design of the TFU2 better than any other saber or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just how it all came together. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So huge shout out to Harp, of course, and Aaron for doing a bang up job of CNCing these parts, CNCing small stuffs. As far as I understand it, I've never done it, but much more difficult than CNCing large parts. So whereas material costs are pretty, not bad, tooling, special tooling and all that stuff. You could see minor differences, that we did on these, but they were made equally as complicated. There was no like, oh, well, let's just make this piece one piece because we're CNCing it instead of, making it three pieces the way Harp did. We did everything the same. So kudos to Aaron, man. He did a good job on these. Pretty awesome stuff. So there she is. Looking forward to getting some nice clamps from this. Let's see. It's like the world's loudest saber. Probably go ahead and put the finishing touches on this one. Now that I know who it belongs to, I'll take that out of there. I have actually, let's see, 17 of these, exactly 17 of these sitting behind the camera on this table right now being worked on with name tags written on them for people who are in the run. They're more or less 50% assembled right now, something like that. So there it is. This will be the first public video that I've taken of one of these, and I hope you guys like it. And this is something that we'll probably do in the future, is more like mini runs like this, where we're kind of using exclusive solutions and premium materials, and just something to break up the monotony of the 3D printed chassis. I love the 3D printed stuff though. It works great. It's fantastic. It's strong. I use it on a regular basis, obviously, because of Ryo. Hello. But it's fun to have options. So hope you guys liked it, and see you later.